Hi, and welcome to the Ann Arbor News Lunch Break, where we take a closer look at one of the recent top stories in the Ann Arbor News. I'm staff reporter Art Eisner, and joining me today is Chairman of the Washtenaw County Board of Commissioners, Jeff Irwin.
Hello.
Jeff, thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Well, you and your fellow commissioners are going to have some tough decisions to make over the next 6 weeks in trying to deal with this projected $8 to $10 million budget deficit for this year. Can you briefly explain how we got here?
Sure. Well, of course, every 2 years the county commissioners have to set a budget and make all sorts of tough decisions about where to allocate our resources. And there's tremendous community need and a limited amount of resources. So I'd like to say that we're used to making tough decisions about resource allocation. But to talk about our specific predicament now, in the middle of last year, we started getting ready for our 2-year budget process going into this year, and we said, okay, we have to estimate what property tax growth is going to be for the next coming years. And in future years, I've been on the board since '99, and ever since '99, we've estimated 5% growth, and usually outperformed that. So usually at the end of the year, there's been greater growth. So we've been erring on the right side. Well, this time we looked at the economy and we looked at the environment around Michigan and said, we're pretty sure we're not going to hit 5% this year. That'd be way above what we would hope for. But we plugged in a figure of 3.5%, which ended up being also far too rosy. Now, we're not going to know, because of the weird way that we're on a calendar year and our apportionment report comes out in April, which is the report that dictates what property values are set by the equalization department. Okay, so we don't know exactly even today what is going to come out in April in the apportionment report, but we know that it's going to be less than 3.5%. And our equalization director, Raman Patel, has told us that it's probably going to be closer to 0%, which is going to be a big blow to the budget because there's $16 billion worth of property value, roughly speaking, in Washtenaw County. And when you start to take the roughly 4.5 mils of county tax off that $16 billion, a 3% or a 2% change can make a big difference at the end of the day. So that's one of the big effects. Another was that we're also entering into contract negotiations with our employees. We've been working with the employees for many months now on contract negotiations, and our expectation was that we could save a lot of money by going to a different type of retirement system. And it looks like some of those estimates were also, maybe too rosy. I haven't really put my finger on whether it was that the actuaries made a mistake or what it was that they made some rosy estimates, sort of as we did, that in the light of current economic conditions
You couldn't live up to.
You couldn't live up to, and it's become obvious now that that's not going to be the case in the future. And we actually had another actuarial report hired that showed us some new numbers that were lower. So taking those two effects together, the economic downturn, property diminishment, property tax growth, and the increase in the cost of doing business, it all works together for about an $8 to $10 million deficit for us this year.
So there was some indication that that '08 was going to be a difficult year, but it doesn't sound like no one anticipated it to be this bad this soon.
I think that's fair to say, and I think it's also fair to say that we still don't know exactly how big of a crunch it's going to be. But there's been a number of things that we've decided to do early on to try to account for this and to try to plan for this. I would say that in years leading up to now, Washtenaw County has been very aggressive about trying to streamline our budget, trying to find ways to save money that wouldn't cut services. Over the course of the last 4 years, we've been going through a process of trimming down our sort of back office and administrative functions to try to make sure that more of our resources are directed towards the actual service provision side of what we do. So that has set us up nicely for this. And there's some other things that we've done that in the near term that I think are going to help us. One is we've instituted a hiring freeze. That's going to save some dollars. And also at the beginning of the year, we decided to take a real extra effort to engage the employees to get their best knowledge about what we could do and what their ideas are to save money around the county. So there's a team of departmental leaders who are meeting with administration and commissioners and talking about those issues, but there's also a whole host of town hall meetings that the county administrator, Bob Gunslow, and myself are going to go to with different employee groups around the county and talk to them about our situation, try to inform them where we are, and also get feedback from them about what are the ideas you might have as employees about saving money or doing better, or how programs could work better for the residents.
Will the town halls be a part of an education effort to the public as well?
That's not that's not the purpose at all. No, the town halls are really with the employees,
Employees.
and it's really a means to exchange information between the employees and the commissioners and the administration to make sure that whatever decisions we make are the right decisions.
What do you expect the impact to citizens will be?
Well, we hope that the impact to citizens will be minimal. As I said, the county has really, and the county commissioners, I think all my colleagues are with me on this, have really taken an effort to make cuts in areas that aren't going to affect direct service to individuals, particularly our most needy individuals. You know that the county does a tremendous breadth of social service activities, and those are those together with our public safety and justice components, I think are probably our most important sort of direct service to the people. You know, putting county deputies on the road, making sure that the courts function properly, you know, making sure that our workforce development effort is strong, you know, making sure that our social service impact is not diminished because we took a 8% hit in our budget.
Mhm. We've heard that one of the areas you may revisit is the county vehicle policy and perhaps the use of take-home cars. Is that on the table?
That's been on the table for a number of years, actually, and we did a small revision to our county vehicle policy last fall, actually. That's been an idea that's been around for a while. I have to give Commissioner Sizemore some credit for really pushing that issue and making sure that stays at the forefront. And he's been trying to point out ways that we could save money in that arena for a couple years now. And I think that just last fall, we changed the policy about taking home vehicles to slightly restrict new employees coming in terms of taking home vehicles that they don't need to take home. And then the big question going to be this spring, can we do with less vehicles, period? That was an issue we really didn't tackle last fall. The take-home thing, I think we've done what we need to do on that. But the issue of do we have too many cars, or maybe is there a way that we can still provide cars to people who need it, but with less total cars? That's a topic that we need to tackle, and I think the answer is probably yes. But the impact of how much we can save there is really not tremendous. Somewhere around 75 to 80% of the county budget is staff salaries and that sort of thing. So the vehicles is really a small component of our expense.
People costs.
Right.
As far as you go, what impact do you expect this process will have on the ongoing contract negotiations you have with the various unions?
Well, I'm not really expecting it to have any specific impact. I mean, it's important that our employees and our union negotiators know what the situation really is and that we communicate openly and honestly about what our financial state is so that they understand it and they understand what's a realistic expectation from the county. But quite frankly, we've always had, I think, success with working with the unions and trying to come to common terms about where we really are, and we've always been, I think, very transparent as an organization in terms of communicating to our employees and the public, how much we're spending, how much we've got, and that sort of thing. So,
where can the public go to find out more information?
Well, I would suggest that they go to our website, ewashna.org. There's a tremendous wealth of information on there. The county budget, I think, is very well organized and pretty easy to understand. That's all up there, as well as all of our CAFRs, our comprehensive annual financial reports, which really shows you what we spent rather than what we planned on spending, which is usually the more important side of the coin. And other than that, I would encourage people to contact their commissioners. We're in the community, we're available. We're always happy to come down to the Ann Arbor News and do an interview or meet with citizens wherever they are and talk to them about what's going on at the county and what we're doing.
Okay, thanks for being here, Jeff, and good luck.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for joining us, and be sure to check back at mlive.com /Ann Arbor News for more updates throughout the day.